Okay, we are back with our live coverage here at FPA National, the 25th anniversary of it, I should also say, here in Vegas. And joining me is Derrick Kinney, who's longtime friends. We started off as LinkedIn friends, and we've met at a number of conferences. I think you may do more conferences than me, which is saying something, because I do a lot of conferences.
You do a lot of conferences, yeah.
Yes, well, I see you all the time, and I'm really glad to have the chance to have you on the show here today.
Thank you, Chuck. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So here's the deal. I know you're going to be on the stage tomorrow.
Yeah.
So for those in the audience that were not lucky enough to be here in Vegas for this 25th anniversary, what are you going to talk about?
Well, advisors are facing a big problem right now. A lot of them feel overlooked by the high net worth prospects they most want to attract. And that was my problem too. I know that feeling very, very well. I'm going to give them 5 simple steps to go from overlooked to overbooked.
Love it.
We're going to talk about my high net worth conversation framework that helps you build rapport and relationship fast with the prospect.
All right, I tell you what, without doing the entire 45-minute presentation here or giving it all away, what are 1 or 2 tidbits that you want to share with the audience with us?
One would be, if you want to make it rain, connect with pain. If you want to make it rain, connect with pain. So many people, when they're in a social environment, they talk about their credentials, their schooling, their education, the products and services they have. Most prospects, candidly, Chuck, don't care.
Yeah.
All they're thinking about is their favorite radio station, WIIFM, what's in it for me? And when you can connect quickly with a painful problem the person already knows they have, and you verbally say it, it draws them closer to you, makes them say, this person gets me, this person truly understands me. That's the foundation of this whole framework.
Love that. Can you give me an example of that? How would you do that in a situation, a real life situation?
Sure. So let me say 2 phrases to you, and let me see how you respond to this.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, you know how when you take your car to the mechanic, it often feels like you're getting taken advantage of or overcharged?
Yes,
Yes.
I do.
Okay. And so that's I call this my you-know-how statement. You're saying something that people instantly relate to the pain of it, and they don't have to figure out what you're talking about. Okay, example number 2. Let's say the 2 moms are talking. They both have a teenage daughter at home, and one mom says to the other mom, you know when you talk to your daughter, it feels like what you say goes in one ear and out the other? And the mom's going to go, yes. And so the whole point of this is, think about who your ideal prospect is and what is the painful problem that keeps them awake at night, and you want to talk about how you specialize in solving that unique problem. And when you do that, it takes you way above all the other advisors who are just trying to sell themselves on, I'm this, I'm that, here's what I have to offer. Right. It's, I understand the pain you're in, and I can help you solve it and get you to a better place.
I love that. So let's go to the first one, because I immediately relate to that, right? Because, I know a fair amount about our business.
Yeah.
I know nothing about cars, and I know nothing about houses. So when I get my house worked on, I know I'm getting ripped off. And when I get my car worked on, I know I'm getting ripped off.
Yeah.
So that's an immediate bond.
Right.
How do you then parlay that into a client relationship?
So the framework starts off with 3 steps. So first of all, you know how, let me share with you, for example, when I was an advisor, I sold my business a couple years ago, but this was my you-know-how statement. Chuck, you know how so many people worry about running out of money in retirement? We help them fix that. Through our 5-step custom-tailored planning process, we create a strategy so they won't run out of money. They can finally feel peace of mind and have confidence. We specialize in retirement income planning. Let me tell you a quick story. And then I would tell a story about a client I met with that had that same struggle. So the point is, you want to invite them into an instantly relatable problem where they say, oh, now I get it. Because if I say financial advisor, like if someone says, what do you do for a living? I say financial advisor, wealth advisor, their eyes glaze over, they start to walk backwards, they clutch onto their wallet, they say, I have enough insurance. I mean, all kinds of things happen. But you're forcing people to burn their brain cells to figure out what you do. But instead, if you say, you know how, it infers that they're going to know what you're talking about, and then talk about the problem that you probably know keeps them awake at night. They're like, this person understands what I'm doing. Then you describe the plan you have, and then what you specialize in. It creates interest and curiosity for them to say, well, tell me more about that. Because most advisors never hear that. They say, I already have one, I've got enough insurance. But most people then say, well, tell me more about what you do, and it invites them into this painful problem that makes them want to say, hey, could we visit and talk about this? So that's how it opens that door to the prospect.
Fantastic. So as we're coming up on time here, and of course we talk about going RIA, but when I'm at a conference and I have a thought leader like yourself, we're going to get them on and talk about whatever we can.
Right.
So this has been really good. How could you put that through the lens for our audience that are thinking about going RIA? And let me tee it up for you this way.
Yeah.
And I know you do a lot of coaching with advisors. And give me the name of your company again. I'm sorry.
Success for Advisors.
Success for Advisors. Okay. Do you see yourself working a lot with folks that are creating that narrative and putting together their story about why they're going RIA, going more to the fiduciary model? Is that something that you see?
Oh, yeah. And the key is, again, it never goes back to I've got access to more products, I'm a fiduciary. All those things are important.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you want to stress you have a greater understanding of the prospect's painful problems that they have. Because nobody cares ultimately if you have access to this fund or this wrap account or this mutual fund. Or ultimately, people want to know that they feel understood. And then whatever you recommend, typically they say yes to because they feel understood. And so I would say to someone thinking about going RIA or making a change, think about not just the change you're going to, but also a change in your communication, a change in how you relate to the prospects you want to work with. It's kind of like a teenager that moves. I may not have liked where I was and people didn't like how I was there. I get to have a new identity. Take on a new identity. You're like a new superhero. Take on the identity in your new role and really understand people's painful problems. And you become basically, I like to say, you're the medicine for America's financial pain. You've got the painkillers. They just don't know you have it, but you've got to use the right words to connect with them.
All right. I tell you what, that's a great place to put a pin in for today. Derrick Kinney, thank you so much for this. And I should also re-stress, founder CEO of Success for Advisors.
That's
Derrick,
right.
thanks so much.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. So we still have some more content coming. I've got 2 more segments for this afternoon. Stay tuned. I'll be back in about another 45, 50 minutes. Thanks for joining us. All right, that was great.
Let me get a selfie.